just challenge them, basically, isn't it?
Thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thanks, Adam.
And there's another turnover from the Mariners early, and Connor Payne setting on his way. Box. Any friends around him. In the end, Sanchez comes in underneath.
Yeah, characteristic from Bozanic there, giving the ball away, and does it set the tone for the second half?
It was a theme of the first half. Arias back to Diamante. Looks up with that left. More or less hits Barisha in the head. Barisha battling for it. Gets there in front of 3 Mariners. Reina on the way in front of Hamill, who does well. Gets the long strides out, but not quite in the end. Shirt pulled and stage itch. Who had a word to Pagani just before time.
Well, Hamill's done that a couple of times. He's been pretty good for the most part, but he's won that ball, and then he hesitates and tries to do something difficult instead of just doing the simple thing. He gets himself a yellow card. But Urania, credit to him for chasing it down, not giving up.
Like every game this weekend in the A-League, a massive 3 points on the table for either side here in Tasmania. 4 points clear ahead of Adelaide United's game against Sydney FC tomorrow if the Mariners win it. If Western United win, they too close the gap like Brisbane did last night on Western Sydney Wanderers. And after this one, still 3 games in hand for Western United. So that was why Mark Redan was so keen to point out job half done, even though it was a half job well completed by Western United. This finals picture, absolute riddle still at the stage of the season. Stefan Negro looks up, thinks about the shot perhaps. Yanota onto his left, he does shoot. It's a little above Ryan Scott.
It's a better one than his first effort in the first half. And see there, as soon as he receives the ball, he's coming inside, outside of the left foot, 2 touches. Can't keep it down. It'll take something special from that distance to beat Scott. You know, look at that midfield battle, and someone like a Josh Nisbet be a handy substitution for the Mariners. He's pretty good close control and keeping the ball in tight areas.
There's plenty of tight areas out there. And Nisbet can play either as one of those deeper midfielders or one of the higher 2 midfielders that Stajic uses in this system. Pretty adaptable player. And of course, we're going to see qual time, maybe on the hour mark, maybe the 70-minute mark. Qual signed the deal with Stuttgart. That confirmed. Widely reported rumour is bouncing around for a couple of weeks, and it's confirmed that he'll leave at the end of the season, but we'll see out the season with Central Coast. And it was a little close for comfort. You're not putting pressure on, and it turns over. It's a little more flamboyant than he needed to be there, the pole. And Payne. Ooscock. Payne continued the run, and Ooscock recognised it well. Quite fine Barisha on that one, Connor Payne. Tonyev. Hassled by Barisha. Ooscock. Radachena. Directing traffic 20 metres away there. Arias saw space was coming on the ball and took off on a run, but instead they go back to go forward through Imai. All the way back to Scott. The Mariners played 4 games in 15 days, but had an 11-day break coming into this one. I don't know if you can attribute that to the lack of rhythm that they've had in this game. That's probably more to do with the opponent.
Well, so often when we do games and we commentate games, and many of them, and quite often we wait to see what happens here with Bozanic getting on the ball, but quite often we focus on maybe how poorly his side is done or how poorly they're going. Sometimes it's just a better opposition.
Clisby almost finding Arena, who tried to flick it around and get it on target.
Good throw from Scott. Yeah, so going back to that, sometimes it's just how good the opposition are playing that forces you to be not quite as good as you have been in recent weeks, if you can put it like that. And Western United have been good so far in this game. But the Mariners are hanging in there, and it's only 1-0. And you know they'll get a chance or two.
Trainer slipped at the worst possible time there. Turned over for the Mariners. Bozanic get on the ball. Gets rid of Uzcock with a wonderful little manoeuvre and a great ball out to Matt Simon. There's two at the far stick for the Mariners. Attacking the near stick was Bowman with a well-timed run, but couldn't get the purchase on the shot.
No, maybe just a slight deflection off the defender, took the pace off it. Good little turn here from Bozanic. One of the first times he gets in that space, turning forward, able to play Simon, and he sees the run of Bowman to the near post. Yeah, there's no real touch, but it's the pressure from Durante. It's a difficult one.
Trainer. Con Payne venturing infield to find a teammate. Uzcock, who is one of the shift this week from into midfield has certainly worked, because he's all over Bozanic or Gianni Stensness. His first 52 minutes, and that one right there, as Robbie pointed out, was one of the first times that Bozanic could break the shackles of the player in white. Trainer trying the trick, cops it up to Tonic, who just gallops forward. The big central defender does well to find Bowman. Chance here, and he couldn't quite get it through. There were numbers there for the Mariners.
Yeah, he just tried, and another situation they don't make the most of. Tonic with a super burst here. Injects himself into the midfield, goes past Uzcock, powerful surge. Bowman tries to play it back to him when the ball just behind to Urenia was the better one.
We've got a couple of substitutions coming for the Mariners. Mikhail Yanota, his evening is done. Josh Nisbet, as you called, Rob, he's coming in. Jaden Casella, and he's a player, Casella in particular. Bowman as well makes way. So Casella loves making forward runs, loves questioning the defensive setup of the opposition with or without the ball when his team's in possession. Here's Bozanic trying to twist clear. Lovely little ball into Arena. Sanchez is over to help out. Goal kick.
Yeah, so changes the two wide players, two fresh ones. And Nisbet does come on in a more attacking role.
Stensness and Uzcock battling each other. Have another go at each other just there. Yeah, Marty, haven't seen much of him in the last 5 minutes or so for Western United.
Mariners pressing forward very high here.
Borussia does really well there. Bring him under control though. Casella, early touch for him since entering the fray. It's Kai Rolls out on that left-hand side. So they certainly have changed their setup off the ball, the Mariners, to try and put their opponents under a bit more pressure. You have to be good to break a few lines. That man's good if you want to do that. Diamante almost launches one into the path of Arias, but here are the Mariners again. Stensness winning a foul. Plays it quickly to Nisbet. Zanuck out to Clisby. Sella manages to get the cross in, and Hamill was the first one to react. There's Josh Risdon, 14 times Socceroo, played every minute at the 2018 World Cup for Australia. And he's finally back and ready to play again after missing the first part of the season with a stress fracture in his tibia. Which sounds about as much fun as the
tibia
bag of raw prawns. Thought they were off. Here's Nisbet. Got a ball into Salah, whose touch took him away and coughed it up in the end.
I thought it was the fibula.
Well, one of those bones down there had a stretch fracture in it, and it kept him out till now. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah. What's the tibia and the fibula?
Oh, sorry. Did I say that? I merged them.
Yes.
Well, seeing my medical hero is Dr. Nick Riviera of The Simpsons, it's probably fitting that I came up with something like that. Stick to sport. It's Casella.
The Mariners enjoying a good little period here. Probably the best they've had in the match the last 5 minutes.
Casella just got that last touch off the block from, or tackle from that man, Dylan Arias, who hasn't, as good as Western United have played, he hasn't exactly launched himself forward with the ball like we know he can, running with the ball. It's mainly been down Connor Payne's side, as we mentioned in that first half.
There's that press from the Mariners.
It's certainly changed. There's not a lot of time on the ball for Western United. If they can play through it, there's more space where the ball's going right now. Kai Rolls flying in and going into the book. Tackle on Guarachena.
Yeah, Guarachena, if he got away there, it doesn't affect this foul. They were 3-on-2. So, yeah, that press that they're affecting there, if they don't win that ball in the second phase of it, there's more space.
It's man on man.
Yeah.
It's charging forward at a great rate of knots to try and stop the ball getting to the dangerous areas. Nisbet wins it back. Tonyik has got Guarachena coming. Durante just goes straight through the back of Arena, won the ball. I think he got a fair bit of leg as well, but play on. Says the referee. Fair challenge. Sanchez.
Well, two things. I think it was a fair challenge. It was a strong challenge, but the ball from Tonyik wasn't a great one. But Urania was flat-footed, so he wasn't moving towards the ball.
Durante, some of his defending to stop the Mariners going into feet for their strikers has been outstanding tonight. All the experience he's accrued over these 349 A-League games and a number in the NSL as well. A number for New Zealand as he falls on the ball there and gives Arena a bit of lip for charging in and trying to win it off him on the ground.
He was offside anyway.
Melbourne derby on the way as well tonight. Melbourne City in outstanding form. Melbourne victory off the back of a win finally. However, the memory does remain of the last time these two met. And victory looking to extinguish those memories with a good performance tonight. It's a ripper, always a good one, the Melbourne derby. It's on the way later this evening. Here's Western United going forward. 1-0 to the good. Goal scorer on the ball, Connor Payne. Back to Guarachena. Sanchez. It's a bit of a tired-looking movement there from Guarachena, who's played really well so far.
Well, the game's definitely changed. The Mariners much more prominent in the game. It was fairly one-sided that first half. And in spite of that, Mariners did have a couple of good situations they didn't make the most of.
Bazanek, nice little scoop. Get out of that tight area. Stensness. And now the flick from Bazanek. A little touch, a little twist, a little turn, and oh, can't quite get through three of them. Can't do what Al Hassan Toure did the other night. One of the most outrageous pieces of skill we've seen this season. Diamante, beautiful ball. Quick movement from Western. Well done. Barisha looked offside. Payne was blocked off. And they'll go back to that one. Tonic. That's another yellow. Ruan Tonic. He's gone. Red card. Diamante coming over to send him off as well. And so the first one was an interesting call from Ali Reza Pagani, but that one for the block on Payne. And Ruan Tonic is going to leave the Mariners with 10 for the last half hour.
It did look soft to me, to be honest. Well, when you've had a yellow card, you run the risk. So as he plays it in here, does he affect that? Does he move across the line of Connor Payne, or is it just the fact that he's there? But they're not going to change their mind.
No, you're more likely to see a Tasmanian Tiger than Ali Reza Pagani changing his mind. So it's the first time within a game that the Mariners have gone down to 10 men. Kai Rolls got sent off after the game. That interesting night in Adelaide we experienced with the 3-2 and 3 penalties to Tommy Urich. It's the first time within.
Well, Ruan Tonic's got to go. He's still staying out there.
What is going on?
I don't know.
That's what has happened. We haven't had a Graham Poll moment, have we? What is going on? I could have sworn Ruan Tonic got a yellow in the first half, and then he just got a yellow then.
Well, he did. There's no doubt about that, but I don't understand what's going on.
VAR chatting to Ali Reza Pagani.
So they've cancelled out that yellow card. That can be the only explanation, is that the VAR have got involved and said that wasn't a yellow, second yellow.
We're just going to get clarification on exactly what has gone down there, because I think I could be reading Bulgarian algebra and be less confused than I am right now. Anyway.
The good news for the Mariners is they've still got 11 men.
The game goes on, and Casella's got a chance here. What a challenge that is from Tomoki Imai, the last ditch.
Had to be perfectly timed, and it was.
Okay, so we're just hearing from the VAR. There was an offside. I thought Berisha might have been on the last line there, and he was offside, which cancels out the live play, which cancels out the need for Tonic to go into the book, thus rescinding that red card.
Well, there you go.
So here is the offside in the lead-up to all of that. So they've ruled and they've put the lines up, and they've seen that Berisha was offside there.
So that becomes...
Which means the play is dead, even though it happened 2 seconds or milliseconds before it. And that is why...
He's a lucky boy. But right decision.
Ruan can buy a lotto ticket after this one and try his luck. See if it extends to that particular venture. Anyway, Weston with the ball. Lovely touch from Diamante to bring it down. Sanchez still on the deck. Wiscott winning it back powerfully. And through almost to Berisha, who was in space there. Rolls and Tonic were both out of position. Payne. Diamante looking around for options. Finding Connor Payne. Good first touch. No one at the back stick. Even if there was, they needed to be Inspector Gadget to leap up and get it.
Yeah, this ball just slightly stretching for it, and then tries to wrap his boot around and he can't. It's the best area they've got into in the last 10 minutes.
Zanuck back to Stensness. Lorena thought about the shot. Instead, he went for the little cute ball into Simon. Bozanic. Simon's in space now. He'll have a go. Side netting.
He has to take that one quick. There's defenders converging on him. And he strikes it without, trying to get any kind of direction. Good pressing. Bozanic just slips this one. He's just trying to hit the target, and he doesn't. There was a gap between Scott and that near post, but that's relief for Western United as that crashed into the side netting.
Momentum you could safely argue certainly has balanced out, if not going in the direction of the Mariners at the moment. China looking to settle Western United. Diamante. Joining in to Farias. Diamante, spin on that left. Assessing options. Farias doing all his running and doing it well. And they just send it up into the air and out for a goal kick. Big last half hour just under coming up here in Tasmania. 1-0 Western United as it stands. They close the gap to Western Sydney Wanderers in 6th position. And Mariners leave themselves open to losing top spot if Adelaide and or City can get it right. City to play before Adelaide. Melbourne City taking on Melbourne Victory in the derby coming up. Here's Western United. Parias can't get around Clisby. It's a goal kick. Adelaide taking on Sydney tomorrow at Leichhardt Oval in Sydney, which should be a really good watch as well. It's good defending from Clisby.
And an important game straight after that, MacArthur up against Newcastle.
Yeah, MacArthur slipping up midweek against Adelaide. They could be, before they know it, hauled into that little battle with these teams, Brisbane and Western United in particular, with games in hand, and Perth, it must be said, on 18 points. Take on Wellington, another team on 18 points tomorrow. It's part of a triple header on Sunday. Nisbet does well. Again, tight spaces. More than half of the players on the pitch within a 10-metre radius. We understand Alo Quol is not far away. Can't find the runner he wanted going forward, so it goes back to Stensness. The Seller, he can find Clisby over there. Doesn't exactly zip out to him. Clisby, a good cross to Simon, who was trying to flick it on. Couldn't quite. Here he comes. Alo Quol, soon to be a player in Germany with Stuttgart, one of the famous clubs in Germany. Real ability to develop young talent. He'll go over there after this season. Front of mind right now is replacing Matt Simon and getting the Mariners something out of this one in Tasmania. What a story. And here from overseas, as a young man out of Africa to Shepparton. Gave him a chance. Goulburn Valley. Trialled at a few A-League clubs, with Victory, Western United included. Got to go at Central Coast, and here he is doing what Alo Quol does and just creating havoc. And Ryan Scott needed to be brave there.
Yeah, it was started with a mishit pass from Diamante. Now, I don't think that was a back pass. He probably could have picked that up, but he didn't want to take a chance, Scott. And Quol was there. The pressure, the presence.
Comfortable back passes become questionable affairs when Alo Quol is involved. Stride covers about 10 metres in 3 strides. Here's Tonic after his reprieve. He won't play next week anyway, Tonic. Oh, might be a giddy. Hit it into the nose of China there. Quol winning the header. Nisbet, it's on the switch. Line up.
Terrible pass from Josh Nisbet. They were on there, two on the left-hand side, and just needed to play a better pass. I think, he did. He slipped and then just couldn't execute the pass that was needed.
Casella. Zanuck looking for Negro. Can't get over the head of the former Mariner Payne. Stensness. It's well to wriggle free. He's asking a lot of Negro there, who did exceptionally well to bring it under and winning a corner in the end after Guarachena came over and slid it out of play.
Be strong, Scotty, come on!
Hello, Qual.
He's an obvious target. Tonyik as well. Urania to find space in that 6-yard box.
Bazanik, corner close to the keeper. In the end, it's Uskok, I think, with the header away. Tonyik can bring it down. Bazanik stayed on side cleverly. Cross over to Ryan Scott, who came off his line really well. But Qual saying he's 7 goals so far this season. 4 of them have been kickball with head. He's a real aerial threat. Diamante finding Arias, but nothing off the back of that. Nisbet, this ball, his radar's a little off at the moment, Josh.
Yeah, again, right idea, but just the execution. And there's the Melbourne City could be league leaders by the end of the evening.
Taking on Melbourne Victory. Unchanged lineup for Victory after the win in Newcastle last week. Jamie McLaren and co looking to continue Melbourne City's winning ways. Urania tried the impossible with Nisbet there. Needed to be inch perfect, wasn't quite, but he got another crack and sends it out to Clisby. Early cross. Nisbet's the one in the middle. With all due respect, he's not exactly the one you want in the middle, with the ball coming over at a height. Went over Qual's head, the ball went out. Rolls. Stensness. Urania. And Nisbet running into a little pocket. Again, he slips. Maybe he's got the sand shoes on. Well, the studs certainly aren't long enough at the moment.
Well, there's one thing that's sure. The Mariners are now controlling the game.
We've seen many times, though, Western United, when they've got a lead, sort of a few times last season, that they essentially control proceedings without having the ball. They do well, though, to hold off the Mariners over the next 20 minutes, and it's a free kick in a dangerous area for the Mariners. Bit of experience coming on shortly for Western United. Bazanik, free kick's a good one, almost finds Tonyik. Nisbet, his shot is blocked. Could spin out for a corner. No, Imai's over there before it does.
Well defended, Western United, because that was a really good ball in from Bazanik.
We're about to bring on 2 players, Western United, adept at maintaining possession. Josh Risdon and also Brad Inman, another mid-season pickup for Western. Good from Nisbet there to Negro to allow this forward momentum to continue. Nisbet elects not to cross straight away, sends it back to Bazanik. A lovely manoeuvre. Holly Bazanik from distance, and Scott saw it over, had it covered perhaps, but a good moment for the Mariners.
Yeah, it had Scott off the boot, had Scott worried. Brilliant little bit of skill to make room for himself. Watch this little, just use of the body. It wasn't a step over, he just used the body. Nisbet coming back, Bazanik, see it again, bang, bang, and he's into space. Does Sanchez, and a decent strike, but just too much elevation in it, or rather on it.
Besart Barisha makes way for Josh Risdon, and Guarachena for Brad Inman. Fresh legs. Welcome return to Josh Risdon. a tibia stress fracture. Got that one right that time, but yeah, good to see him back. It's been a frustrating wait for Risdon, who's performed so well over a number of years in the A-League. Perth Glory, Western Sydney Wanderers and Western United, where he was an integral part of their relatively successful first campaign. And Brad Inman, who's returned from India after a spell at Brisbane Roar last season. Cole taking off for that one. That's well defended. Risdon straight into it. It's Perez in the middle now, and Risdon's cross not quite up to standard, trying to get to the pace of the game really quickly is Josh. So Perez through the middle, replacing Barisha in that area. Inman in the middle of the park where Gaurav Trainer was mainly. Zanik finding the offside Orenia. The number of times he finds a teammate where they don't have the break stride is ridiculous. Says to Quoll, chase that, and Hamill has got an issue here. Here's Allo Quoll bearing down on goal. Quoll, oh, good save. Scott with his feet. That's the danger of this young man.
Well, physical presence. Not many win a physical battle like that with Hamill. Hamill's almost, well, he was favourite at the start, and Quoll with pace and explosive pace and a decent strike. That's a really good save at the near post. Scott.
Having a word to his opponent there as well. Hello. Bounces in the box. Inman is the one to clear. Payne, clever touch. Couldn't beat Negro though, so back will come for the Mariners. Orenia drops off that last line. Regan twisting and turning. Stensness left it really well, but Negro could have opened up for the shot there. Bozanic has 9 white shirts in front of him as he looked up. Boreas is the only one on that last line for Western.
Suck him in, come on.
He Mark Rudin there, suck him in.
Drop off a little bit. Just drop off a little bit.
Take their time.
They're playing behind. They're playing purely behind. That's all they're doing behind.
He wants his defensive unit at the back to just drop back 1 or 2 steps, because they're just looking for that outlet ball over the top to Quoll. Payne is fouled, surely by Stensness. Yes, he is in the end. Diamante. Good cross. No one attacking it though.
That's exactly right. Super ball. No one attacking it at all. Ball watching.
It's a little cuddle. Diamante for Nisbet. Diamante found some space and Boreas took it off his boot. Anyway, they'll get another chance here. Payne. Can't see anyone on the 6-yard line there for Western United. Elects not to cross. Hamill. Still the ball out to Risdon. With his left, switches it again to Sanchez. And straining every sinew to bring that one back in. Inman. His first touch wasn't quite clean enough. And it turns over. That moment gone for Western United. Could have been a good one. So Mariners can go forward. Bozanic taking off his Clisby, rolls, trying to play out here. Good pressure from MI. Oh, push and shove after it. Play on. They quickly go forward. Bozanic, Casella in a bit of space. Clisby, Casella continues the run. He's got too much pace for Sanchez, you'd imagine. Blows by him, cuts it back. Nisbet was waiting. An important intervention there from Inman. It was Clisby outside of the boot.
It was a bad effort. But like most of the other shots from the Mariners, sails over the crossbar, not by much. Yeah, cramp for Uzcock. I don't think he's the only one. Connor Payne had one just before. Great burst of speed from Casella down that left-hand side, and just didn't have anyone free in the box, Western United. Like you say, they are very good at defending their box, and defending a lead.
Jordan Smiley is back from an injury layoff. He scored in round 2 to seal the win for the Mariners against MacArthur. His first ever goal. This is just his 7th A-League appearance. 5 of which before this one have come this season. He be the man to get something out of this. At least a point for the Mariners. The league leaders under a bit of pressure here. Might not be league leaders by the end of the weekend if this doesn't turn around and things go well for Adelaide and or Melbourne City. Sella trying to find Clisby, but Diamante is back to help out. Shoved off the ball. Now it's Bozanic. Smiley in the middle. They've got numbers here, Mariners. Negro, his cross is over everyone.
Yeah, needed a better ball than that.
Bozanic. Sella to Clisby. And that's not the ball they needed right there. And then Central Coast Mariners. Scott Jamieson back in the lineup for Melbourne City tonight as part of the Melbourne Derby, which is on the way. City, victory. City are the high flyers these days in Melbourne. It'll be a famous win if Melbourne victory turned the tables after that 6-0 pizzling earlier in the season. Risdon with the throw. Tommy Uzcock. Those pictures about 30 seconds ago are any indication. His last 10 minutes are going to be a long 10 minutes. Risdon just decides to launch one over to Diamante, and it gives Negro something to do. He does well to make the absolute most out of that contact from Diamante.
Well, it only became a dangerous ball when it was allowed to bounce. I don't think there's anything he could have done to prevent that, but Diamante certainly came in the picture, and minimal contact, but he went down. It's a smart play. Mariners looking to get something out of this game late in the second half. The second half they've dominated.
I saw that graphic pop up. Mariners average about 10, 11 shots conceded per game. They haven't conceded one in this second half. They've made all the running, and Bozanic nearly found Quoll. Can they get one on the break here, Western? Diamante expecting someone to be there. Fortunately, it was Stefan Negro who was there.
We probably thought Connor Payne would be there because he's been there pretty much all night, but now he's sitting back. See how deep he is now. Worried about allowing the Mariners space in behind.
Running on his kneecaps as well. He's done a lot of running, Connor Payne. Here's Clisby down this left side for the Mariners. Casella, his cross is blocked really well by Risdon.
It was a little bit predictable, wasn't it? Clisby and Casella there, but they'll get the ball back. They're getting all those second balls. Look at the space and how much room he's got in front of him. Bozanic.
Running behind from Smiley. Is he offside? He'll turn and perhaps shoot. Lay it back to Quoll. His shot is wide. And the flag going up. Ali Reza Fagani going across. So, hey, guys. That's what we do these days. That's what happens. Tamaki Imai's actually got into the book for his protests. It's not the assistant's fault. Blame IFA. most ridiculous rule changes in the history of football. Sorry to be so opinionated there, Robbie. Now, Alessandro Diamante noticed it about a minute ago. He put his hand up to say, guys, I'm tank empty, done. So Luke Duzel, he can look after the ball. Crafty midfielder. They need to just take time off the clock, hang on to the ball here in possession. Western United. Duzel, former Melbourne City product. Now it's Western United about to enter proceedings. Sand running out in the hourglass for the Central Coast Mariners at the moment. Bazanic's down after a head knock. Clisby goes forward in search of this equaliser and perhaps something a little more for the league leaders. Tonyik, Western United, well set up right now. They have dropped off a little. Durante just dropping off that last line a little bit more to stop Smiley with the running behind. It's a real deep block at the moment for Western United. Tonyik, it's the launch one, does well to find Clisby. Stretch out his unit. Smiley really attacking it. It came off him last, out for a goal kick.
Yeah, good pressure again for the Mariners, but they need to find that little bit of quality in the penalty box, the right kind of ball in if they're going to get something out of this game. Western United, lots of players in that defensive third, making a very difficult little space.
Assistants Anastasiadis and Norwich. The attack dogs for Mark Rudan, who looks to be enjoying himself down there on the sideline. An outstanding first half performance. Hasn't quite been replicated, but at the moment it's been enough for Western United, and enough is enough in terms of just winning the game to stay in touch with this top six. Massive 3 points if they seal it here. Zanik. He's perhaps the one to unlock this deeply set Western United defence. Just a low block. They all retreat apart from Parias up front into their final third. Stop the danger. Just happy to go back, retain possession. Go back again here, Hamill. No, he goes down the line for Payne. Zanik. Fighting the ball off. He's like a Marvel character. Bad guys all around him, Ollie, there. He's trying to swat them away. Here's Rolls going forward. Smiley was in a little channel, which could have been dangerous, but well blocked again by Western United. Real solidity to their second half defensive display. Now, Ali Reza Fagani is sprinting over to the Western United bench. Assistant Norwich is the one that goes up.
He's a bit hard done by that. Any one of them could have got that. I thought he was going to give them all a yellow card.
Imagine that, like a croupier just dishing out cards.
Would have been fantastic.
Down the bench. Physio gets one. What for? I don't know, you're just there. Card.
Yeah, they can see the funny side. They don't know why you got it.
They actually like this because it takes time off and breaks the rhythm. And, yeah. Just win. That's all they want to do at the moment, Western United. Parias takes some precious seconds off the clock. We didn't need the back heel. Just let them attack the ball and pull the chest down. 15 metres on the fly. Clisby. marshalled by Risdon. Smiley's going to need to be good to get past this fella, and he can't. Ooh. Sanchez left one in there. Perhaps won the ball, but Clisby was going for it as well and clipped the left back. So a set-piece opportunity here for the Mariners. Get to it first, Sanchez.
Yeah, once you slide in like that, if there's any contact, it's directly a free kick.
Good point, Robert. Bozanic.
Difficult position to find the kind of ball to create a clear-cut chance, but maybe the kind of ball that just creates a little bit of chaos in the penalty box.
So just their 5th defeat of the season, the Central Coast Mariners. Zanic's ball. Ooh. It was Stensness who nearly got something on it. And they'll stay down and take a few extra seconds off the clock. Morich was the one that goes into the book there. He was heard on the sideline saying it wasn't me, it was Roots. Who needs mates? I should say who needs enemies. But
Yes, Tommy! Yes, Tommy! And again,
it's a really important header.
stop pushing it back! Tight! Yes, go do it!
Bozanic, no time.
They call them a foul even before one's committed.
Be careful, Jura. Be careful the first point behind. Give yourself some room. Give yourself some room.
More instruction from the former central defender to the most experienced central defender in the A-League. Payne has been excellent. The ball into Reyes. No one in the centre, but wins a really important corner.
Yeah, it's a good result. Great little run down the left from Payne there, dancing his way down the touchline.
I'll be amazed if this isn't a short corner kept in the corner by Western United. Take 30 seconds off the clock.
Well, given there's no one in the box, yeah.
Nisbet does well. Brazil goes back to the corner. Reyes can't keep it under, so they'll have a goal kick opportunity here to get it upfield. Birighitti was smartly onto the spare ball behind the net. Clisby beats his man. Stensness. Nisbet. It's getting to last chance period for the Central Coast Mariners. Bozanic and Nisbet. It's pretty static in the box. The Mariners at the moment. Negro, Nisbet, little combination play. This is lovely. And Sanchez is across. And it's a goal kick, a deflection on the way out.
He's changed his mind, has he?
No, he's telling the goalkeeper to get the ball that's right next to him instead of chasing the one that went 20 metres away. He's all over it, Ali Reza.
Well, it's been a good reaction from the Mariners in the second half, and just for them it's a what if sort of second half. Qual with their best chance. It wasn't an easy chance, but Scott hasn't had many saves to make, really, has he?
That's full time. Big 3 points for Western United. Well constructed defensive performance in the second half off the back of a really good display in the first. And it's enough to beat the league leaders. So the Central Coast Mariners might not be that by the end of the weekend. An intriguing few games to come. Central Coast Mariners stuck on 30. Western United up to 23 after this result in Launceston. Western United 1. Central Coast Mariners 0. That's well played by Western United, and the Mariners didn't quite go their way. One thing did go their way. Ruben Tonic at least stayed on the pitch, but he'll miss the next game. It's a big one now against Sydney FC next weekend. They've got 2 home games on the bounce against teams pretty much in form.